Pass Around the Smile is like your go-to friend, the one that lifts you up and backs you till the end. She's there to guide and inspire, challenge and teach, and remind you that your best self isn't out of reach. Self-development, manifestation, self-love and more, it's time to trust the process more than ever before. Welcome to Pass Around the Smile, the podcast. I'm your host, Cleo, and I am so glad you're here. Let the magic begin. Hello, my Pass Around the Smilers. We are back for another podcast episode. This is an episode that I have been looking forward to recording all year. I usually do it as an Instagram video, and I might do an Instagram video on it as well. But this is about my New Year card spread and how you can do your own and how you can kind of get excited about 2024 using your cards, seeing what's kind of coming up for you, what you want to kind of look out for. There's so many elements that come into doing a New Year card spread. It's not just like telling your future. That is an exciting kind of element about it, I think, anyway. But it's also, I don't know, it kind of just prepares you and it kind of gets you thinking in a different way. It gets you feeling a little optimistic. It gets you a little curious, and it also opens you up to some more self-reflection and turning inward, figuring out what you actually want, what you need from 2024 to make you happy. And these cards can support you and guide you in doing that. Yay. Also, before we get into the episode, I want to let you know something so exciting. I've just launched my brand new, I should say, course. It's called Manifest Magic, and it is specifically a New Year course. I have designed this to be held on the 1st to the 5th of January because I believe it's such a powerful and magnetic time to kind of put your manifestations out there, make some positive changes so you can go into the new year feeling really excited and aligned and just ready to live the life that you want to live and that you deserve to live. I have had a few questions already from my community members who have either done my Guide to Happiness course, so my 4-week course, or my one-off events. This course, Manifest Magic, I mean, of course I'm going to mention some of the elements here and there that I talk about and that Pass Around the Smile is known for. However, this course is really brand new. It kind of delves into topics that I've never talked about before, even on the podcast. I might even I'll read you at the end the kind of topics that we'll go through in the course, and you can stay on right until the end to hear that if you're interested. But it really is different. I really believe that my community are growing with me, with self-development, spiritual development, manifestation. And while I will always stand by the whole, focus, ask, believe, receive, gratitude, all of that, I think it goes so much deeper into that as well. And through my many failures and successes with the law of attraction, as even over the last year, I have learnt so much, and I've put this all into this 5-day online course to start the year with a bang. If you can't make the course online, like make the lives online during the 1st to the 5th of January, you have lifetime access to this course. So not only can you repeat the course during the year when, you might be losing a little bit of faith, or you might be getting a little bit off track with your goals and your manifestations. Not only can you repeat it as many times as you like, is what I'm saying, but you can also catch up whenever you need to. The course includes so much. It's 2 live calls within the 5 days. There's self-reflection exercises, self-development exercises, journal prompts, mantras, a booklet that you get to keep that has so many tips and tricks on manifestation. And like I said, just some elements that I haven't really talked about that I think really get into the nitty-gritty of maybe why your manifestations aren't materializing for you in the way that you want them to. I just want this course to be so exciting and inspiring. I want this course to bring you the clarity and the flow that you've been wanting and waiting for. I know firsthand what it feels like to feel unfulfilled and stuck and stagnant and not know what is kind of right for you. I had been there for so many years, and it wasn't until I unlocked so many different things myself, and that's the exciting thing, is you get to do this yourself. Like, you are the one that is going to change your life, and I want to help you do that. I will stop carrying on about the course, but you can purchase it on my online site, passaroundthesmile.com. I, on purpose, made it very affordable. It's only $50, which means you're only investing $10 a day into becoming that next version of you, just because I want people to be able to do this course. And I know that Christmas is a really expensive time. And yeah, I want you to be able to do it. Come connect with me. Come do the course. Come and enjoy it. Come and create something for yourself and invest in the you that you want to be for 2024. And let's get straight into this episode talking about more of 2024 and really embracing this exciting and magical time that kind of starts now in December and I feel like carries on through till, January. So my absolute favorite time to do my New Year card spread is that time between Christmas and New Year. I don't know about you, but I just find it magical. I find it very restorative. I find it inspiring, and I always feel really like cleansed and clear from the holiday break and just really excited and optimistic for what's to come. I kind of feel like I get brought back to that kid sense where everything, like my imagination just goes and I feel like the world is my oyster, and that just really excites me. And every year I just want to make the most of those feelings, because we do want to take advantage when we're feeling that good and that magical. We want to take advantage of it. So you may as well manifest actively. You may as well journal, meditate, put your goals out there, tell the universe what it is that you want. So the New Year card spread is something that I have done now ever since I launched my cards. And every single year I'll tell my community about it, and every single year it gets bigger. I cannot count the amount of stories and posts I was tagged in last year with everyone doing their New Year spread and getting so excited for what is to come for them. So I will explain how to do it, and I also want to tell you my own story and some of my friends' stories as well, which they said that I could share. So first of all, my story from this year. This year, my New Year card spread was one of the most intense I've ever done. It really did, month by month, come absolutely true. Like, to the point where my jaw absolutely dropped. So I was meant to bring my journal to the podcast studio, which is just at my parents' place today, but I forgot it. So I knew that I had messaged my friends what my New Year card spread had said, because I have it just written in my journal, not on my phone. So I went onto Messenger and I typed in the words, "You are glowing," because I knew that that was one of the cards I got. And it was pretty cool. It took me back to last year when I did the card reading, and I said, August is "You are glowing." Like, the card I got for August is "You are glowing." And I said, "Can you imagine," in capital letters, meaning I thought that that meant I was going to get pregnant and, be having a baby in August. And I was like, oh my God, can you imagine if that happened? Well, it did. And that was the very month where it kind of, it all started. July, we actually fell pregnant, but August was my month where we found out it was all happening. I was very sick. I wasn't glowing, but we all know what that card can mean. And also the "You are glowing" card has many, many different meanings. And my cousin Maddie, I asked her opinion because she loves doing her yearly card spreads every year as well. And she brought up a really good point. And she said, there's a fine line between looking at these cards and getting very attached to what you think that card will mean for you versus not getting so attached and just thinking, okay, well, there's that card. I'm intrigued to see where this takes me. It could be that way. It could be this way. Because that way you don't get so attached to the outcome for two reasons. We don't want to get so attached to the outcome that we block other better outcomes from coming, but we also don't want to get attached to an outcome that we fear or that we think is maybe negative. For example, Maddie got the misaligned card for a month in 2023. And in that initial conversation where we were all sharing what we got for our New Year card spread, she was like, oh no, I'm so worried about what this misaligned card might mean, what's going to happen. But looking back now, it was something so small and actually quite positive and important, that kind of made some little changes here and there in her life, but it meant nothing like what she was kind of dreading. And I don't think she allowed herself to sit in that dread for long, because she knew that that misaligned card isn't going to represent something necessarily bad definitely happening. So thank you, Maddie, for that reminder. And I really do agree with that. See, with my situation, yes, I wanted to fall pregnant this year. So seeing the You Are Glowing card, I was like, to my friends, oh my God, can you imagine if this is when it happens? Like, wow, how crazy. But I wasn't like depending all of my happiness on it happening in that month at that time, and the You Are Glowing card meaning I am pregnant, because the You Are Glowing card can mean that you are glowing because you're so happy in your career. You are glowing because you had a facial, because you're pouring time into self-love. It can mean many things, but this was just my personal journey, and it was really, really magical. And let me tell you what my cards were surrounding that You Are Glowing card. I realize I've actually already told you guys this in the pregnancy episode, but we're going deeper into it this time. So in June, I got Perfect Timing. July, Unwavering Faith. August, You Are Glowing. Like, wow. So June was when we decided that we were going to start trying. July was like, have unwavering faith that this baby is going to come to us when it's meant to. And August was obviously the You Are Glowing card. So I was just amazed looking back at these cards and how they aligned month to month to month. Then for November, I decided to pull 3 cards for November. And in my head, it was because I was turning 30 and I was like, 3 for 30. I'm going to pull 3 cards. And my intuition just told me to pull 3. The 3 cards I got for November were wealth, journaling, and miracles. So November for me personally was the best month in business I've ever had for Pass Around the Smile. And I finally have started journaling regularly again. I've told you guys how pregnancy and being so sick and I guess kind of mentally not where I usually am at, it took away a lot of my spirituality practices. I didn't feel connected at all to myself or my baby or anything like that. So I stopped journaling, and it really wasn't making me feel very good. But in November, I started journaling again, and not only did it feel good and easy and right, it was actively bringing in things for me. So I would like journal something and I would say something, and the next day it would happen. And I'm not saying this to be like, oh my God, I just like am manifesting magic just like that. It was things that, even just feelings or like little things that I was working on that for so many months I was completely blocked with. But this journaling brought so much magic back into my life. And then the 3rd card I got was miracles. And I remember being in the, deep dark depths of trimester 1 thinking, oh my God, my 30th birthday, I am going to be so sick. Like, I'm going to hate it. And I personally love birthdays. I love celebrating, and I was like pretty devastated about that. But the miracle I think that was brought to me in November was health. I am feeling so much better than I was, and I didn't actually know if this time was going to come for me. I didn't know if my sickness was a 9-month thing that was going to happen until the baby comes out or go on after that. I didn't know. So the miracle was health, and those cards aligned so well. And I'm so excited about my December card. And I literally, out of the 3 decks, could not have picked a more perfect card for me. I pulled the card Connected. All throughout the pregnancy, I have just kept saying to myself, I just feel so disconnected. I feel so disconnected from myself, from my higher self, from my higher powers, from my babies. I felt so far away from anything intuitive. But I did just learn to trust that it would come back. And I knew that the cards had told me that this would come in December. And guess what is coming in December for me right now? Full-on connection. Connection back to myself, to what I want, to who I am. Connection to my baby. I'm feeling the baby move. I'm feeling more connected. It's just crazy how these cards have like aligned for me. And I just love this little exercise. Personally, it just brings me so much hope and excitement and guidance as well. And what is really nice is going back and reflecting on the cards that you have when it is the month, And like Maddie said as well, not necessarily going like, oh, this hasn't happened yet, or like, I need to do something to force this to happen. No, we're not about forcing here. We're about allowing. It's just about reflecting and like looking at what your past self pulled out of this card deck for your future self. I had one year, it was 2021, that's right, because it was the year we got married. So 2021, well, just coming into 2021, I did my New Year card reading, and I was actually a little bit disappointed with what I pulled. They were very self-reflective cards. I guess when I started doing these New Year card spreads, I really wanted to pull the cards that were like, new beginnings, wealth, perfect timing, like the really exciting cards that, new friendship, or, maybe you're single and it comes out with new relationship or something like that. It's like these exciting cards that give us that, oh my gosh. And while you very well might pull those cards and how exciting, I didn't for that year. And I remember being really disappointed. And I actually remember saying to my friends as well, I was like, oh crap, I was really excited for this year, but like these cards honestly don't make me feel that excited, because they were cards like journaling. I can't really remember, but it was very just like about turning inward and accepting yourself, and you deserve more, believe in yourself. Like nothing kind of struck me as, oh, something exciting is going to happen there and something good is going to happen there and I'm going to feel so empowered. It was more like, oh, I've got a lot of work to do. That 2021 was the best year of my life. It was literally the best year of my life. And the funniest thing out of all of this is that every single card every month lined up with what was going on, with how I was feeling. That's the thing. These cards don't necessarily always dictate what is going to happen. Sometimes it's like a small reflective thought or change or pattern, which you change, I guess, that can then elicit something bigger, something better. It might be a journaling session that you do which finally unlocks your life purpose. It might be a meditation that you do that brings you so much joy that you are able to let go of all of your resentment and anger, and letting go of that resentment and anger changes your life completely. So I just want you to go into this New Year card spread being really open. Yes, this could tell your future, but your future is dictated by your energy, and your future is dictated by how you lead your life and the choices that you make. So let these cards guide you, let them inspire you, and remember that if the cards that you pull don't necessarily excite you, remember that some of the biggest things, the biggest changes, the biggest triumphs can come from small little changes within. And these cards will tell you what you need to know. For me, that year, I did need to turn inward, and I did need to do the work, and I did the work. And because I did the work, I had the best year of my life, and those really, really good years have kept on flowing and following because of the work I did that year. So just before I get into exactly how you do your own card spread, I've had permission from two of my best friends to share their kind of stories with their New Year card spreads, because they absolutely love doing it every year. And I really encourage you to find people around you who are open to, card readings and the woo-woo stuff to kind of share this excitement with. And if you don't have those people in your life, that's why we have the Pass Around the Smile community as well. Jump on the Facebook page, share your New Year card spread, let everyone know what you think is coming up or what you want. Don't be afraid to put it out there, because what you're doing is putting it out to the universe and kind of honoring yourself and what you want and what you deserve. So my cousin Maddie, in her 2023 New Year card spread, pulled the love card for April. And when Maddie did this spread at the time, she was single, so of course this card excited her. And she now has a lovely boyfriend, and they matched in April. How cool is that? Again, we don't have to get fixated on the months, but these are nice little reminders that magical synchronicities can occur, and sometimes we get little hints that they are coming. And I have had friends who've done card spreads as well, where they're like a couple of months off or things like that, or maybe an idea is planted in January and the card is in January, but the business or something that the idea came from isn't born until March, but I think that is just a really exciting reminder of what can kind of happen. And who knows, maybe Maddie going into April was a little bit more open, a little bit more excited, optimistic about what this card might mean for her in April. And I might mention now, we also don't want to get disappointed. Like, let's say in Maddie's case that, nothing happened in April. You then have a choice. You have a choice to be disappointed and think that, well, love is not going to happen for you anymore. Or you have a choice to think it might still come, or maybe a seed was planted in April, or maybe you learn to open up to love to yourself, and that later on in life, if a relationship was what you were desiring, that was going to come from this change made in April. So it's all about just kind of thinking differently. And I think that this really kind of elevates you as a person who is working on their self-development. So then my friend Josie, for November, she pulled the health card. And I think at the time when she did her card spread, like, it didn't mean too much to her. She didn't really know what it meant. So she just kind of let it go, didn't place too much attention on it. And the other day she was saying to me how she started this health kick program with her trainer, and her trainer's been so amazing in helping her and supporting her, letting her know what she should and shouldn't eat during this time with the exercise as well. And she's learning so much, and it's a really different way of looking at things. And this kind of program just came out to her from nowhere. Like, she didn't ask for it. It just happened, and her trainer is helping her with this before she actually launches her thing as a kind of like a tester. And I said, Jose, you do realize that a few months ago you said to me that you really wanted to do this program that we both follow on Instagram, that it kind of, I don't really know too much about it, but it's a health kick program, that you really wanted to do that, but it was just too expensive and too out of your reach, and you didn't know if you should do it or not, or if you could afford it, blah blah blah. I said, that you said that, right? But you really wanted to do it. And then we kind of had a conversation about that might not be right for you, but let's just see what comes, let it go. And I said, do you realize that you have fully manifested this incredible health kick course that you are doing right now in November? And then she said, and oh my God, my health card was November. And she didn't kind of realize. So all of this kind of came into play, and who knows where this little health journey is going to take Jose as well. It could be a change in mindset. It could be that it changes the way that she exercises or eats forever, which, instills new positive habits or whatever it is. And maybe, she just learns some incredible things and that's it. And, goes back to the way she did live her life. There's many, many options. But the thing is that she accidentally manifested this thing to come into her life, and she's really enjoying it. And it happened when the health card was pulled for her, which was November. I know that there are so many more amazing stories of the New Year card spreads that I have received and screenshotted over the years of how incredible things have lined up for people, but I'll just share those ones for now and get into now telling you exactly how to do this New Year card spread. So what you want to do is pick a time that works for you, of course. For me, like I mentioned, it's that magical time before Christmas and New Year that I like to do mine. I want to make sure that I have at least half an hour to an hour for myself. I like to set my scene, put my candles on, get my smells going, put my meditation music on, have everything out. So all of my 3 card decks, my journals, my perfect potion balm that I put on my temples, everything just ready, and really get that tranquil space happening for you. You really want to connect to yourself and to your higher powers, your angels, the universe, whoever you believe in. Then what I like to do personally is I like to start with a little bit of journaling to let go of what I no longer want to take into 2024 with me from 2023. So I will write things like, I want to let go of the resentment I hold toward, this person, or maybe I want to change the way I view this situation. I want to let go of this limiting belief that I know is holding me back. So I will kind of just word vomit, no judgment on my journal, blah, 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 blah. This is all the stuff that I want to let go of. And then I will do a meditation, usually kind of like a letting go meditation to kind of solidify all of that. So I do my own meditations, but I do the letting go of negativity meditation. I'll let it all go, and then I'll kind of come out of that feeling fresh and new, and I will begin to journal what I want to bring in for the new year. So any goals, any manifestations, anything that I want to feel, remembering that we don't have to always get so specific on what it is that we want. Sometimes we don't know, and sometimes that's the best place to be in. I know you probably feel like if you don't know what you want, that you are not in a position to manifest, but it's kind of the opposite, because you are actually more open to being like, okay, well, universe, I'm not sure what's going to make me happy. I'm not sure what's going to fulfill me. So instead, manifest a feeling. So maybe you want to write 3 feelings down that you want to manifest for 2024. Let's say, for example, it's abundance, peace, and clarity. So they're your 3 words, right? What happens then is when you are working toward those 3 words, the universe will bring you whatever things, people, circumstances that match those words, that will bring you those feelings. So that's really exciting. So you could write down words, you could get really specific. And as well, I'm not saying being specific is bad, of course not. I have had goals that are so specific, like my first pass around the smile event, I could literally see where it was, what it looked like, what I was saying, the food, like everything down to a T was exactly how I visualized. The same as my wedding, the same as the car that I got. So being specific is definitely not bad, and you just might be a specific person, and that's okay too. You just want to remember that when you are writing down something specific in your journal, finish it off with Gabby Bernstein's quote, I accept this or something better. Just letting the universe and your angels know that you have faith that if something even better is meant to come for you, you promise that you will open up and make room for that thing. You don't want to block better things from coming to you, do you? So I will write down all the exciting stuff then. Again, not judging myself and trying my very, very best to not perceive one dream as too big or too far of a reach, because we know that when we do that, we're actually blocking ourselves from manifesting that dream and telling ourselves that it's going to be hard to get there or to create. Now, every year I change my little ritual up a little bit, but I think this year I will then do another little meditation, maybe just like a 5-minute visualization meditation, visualizing and feeling the feelings that I want to bring in for 2024, getting really excited, sitting in that seat of optimism. And then when I come out of that meditation and I have my music playing and I'm feeling gentle and connected and excited, I will go through each of my decks. So this year I obviously have 3 decks, my positive guidance cards, my guided affirmation cards, and my positive guidance oracle cards. I will put the link as well if you don't have my cards yet and you want to check them out. It'll all be in the show notes. So I like to do the full ritual with each deck before I do my New Year card spread. I don't do this every time I do a reading, but for my New Year card spread, I do. So what I do is I go through every deck. I have a spray, I spray them, I give them 3 knocks to get rid of all the energy. And if you're like, oh my God, how am I going to remember all of this? This is all written in the little booklet that comes with the cards. I will then go through and touch every card, feeling my energy go into each card, and I'll repeat that for all the card decks. Then I'll take a few deep breaths, really slow down, and now is the time to completely trust yourself. You are the best person to do this reading for you. You know exactly what you are doing. You don't have to go to a psychic. You don't have to go to a spiritual healer. You are the best person for this job. You just have to trust. So what I will do then, I will have the 3 decks out in front of me, face down, and I will think January, okay. And then whatever card deck I'm drawn to, let's say for example, it's the middle deck, the guided affirmation cards. Okay, I'll start shuffling. Say, angels, universe, whoever I'm talking to, Nanny Waters, please show me what I need to know for January next year. January, I'll think about January, I'll take my time, it might jump out, or I might get an urge to stop, or I might get an urge to pick a card from the middle of the deck. Please just trust your intuition. Then I'll put it face down. Then I'll think February. I think, you know what, I actually think I'll use the same deck. Do the same, pick a card for February. March. You know what, for March, I just really feel like I need 2 cards for March. I don't know why, but I'm just going to trust my intuition. And then let's say I'm going to use the positive guidance cards and the oracle cards. I shuffle, I say the months, I feel the months, and then I pull 2 cards out for that month. So for example, last year, I think I did one card for every month, except for November, I did the 3 for 30. So just trust yourself. Don't go too overboard. I wouldn't suggest doing more than one card for every month. I don't know, I think it could overwhelm you and you might get a little bit confused, but go through, of course, all the way to December, trusting yourself. And then, oh my God, I tell you what, turning those cards is the most special and exciting feeling. I just love this time of year. I'm so excited that we're doing this all together. Please, let's all talk about it together in the community group and just get excited. Oh my God, I'm so excited to do mine, especially after the one that I got last year. Wow. And then you have to, this is part of it, you have to write them down, of course, with the months which they coincide with, date when you did the card spread, take a photo of it if you want, but I really suggest writing it in your journal with a date and really look at your year. Look at your year and think, wow, this year is filled with so much promise and so much hope. And yes, this could mean that, but it could also mean that, and it could also mean this. And wow, there are just so many millions of possibilities out there for me, and I'm so glad and grateful that these cards are guiding me there. So then I would finish with a little gratitude statement. You might want to do it through meditation, say it out loud, or journal it. Just how grateful you are for your higher powers, your angels, the universe connecting with you through this card deck and guiding you and protecting you in the year 2024. And then, share it with your friends, your family. Maybe you want to do a reading for your friends and your family. Share the positivity, share the love, feel the good feelings. Now, if you want to go even further, you can, and you can use your pocket of positivity to do so. I know that some of my community members pulled 12 crystals, one for each month, which also, of course, with the pocket of positivity, you have the messages as to what that crystal might mean for you. And then what you can do is each month you can pull that crystal out and sit it on your desk or have it under your pillow or pop it in your handbag. I personally, last year, I pulled 3 crystals for the year as an overview. And I felt like that was enough for me, but it's a personal journey. Trust your intuition. And the other thing that I really do want you to do, whether you do it during this time or a couple of days later, if you're a bit, you've had too much information overload or spiritual woo-woo overload, is make sure you go through the booklets that you get with your card deck and read out each month what they might mean to you. Write down in your journal anything that really resonates. Maybe write down the affirmation or the exercise that goes with that card for that month. So then come January, you say that affirmation over and over again. Come July, you do the little exercise and the journal prompt that might be in your guided affirmation card deck booklet. So there's just a couple of things that you can do to take it even further if you like. Also, you might just have one deck of my cards. Of course, just do the whole spread with that one deck of cards. I was just doing that example as my example, and I, of course, have all 3 decks. But you might have 1 deck, 2 decks, or 3 decks. Do whatever you feel. You might have 3 decks, but you might just think, no, I just have this strong feeling that all of them need to come from the oracle cards, or vice versa. So really I know it probably sounds boring me saying this so much, but trusting your intuition. Be led by your intuition. I wanted to put this podcast episode now out in December so you have time to think about it, you have time to get excited about it, you have time to get ready, maybe tell your friends, get them on board, and you can all do this together. But yeah, it's a really special time. And then what I kind of like to do around the time that I'm doing my New Year card spread is create a vision board again. And I don't do a big vision board every year. I did a big vision board with my friends last year, but this year I think it'll just be a few words, because I know that becoming a new mum, I can't be too specific about what I want, because I don't know. I don't know what's to come for me, and I'm just really focusing on being open and going with the flow and connection. So yeah, I think we'll stop there. Please reach out if you have any more questions about the New Year card spread. I'm so excited for you. As mentioned, I will let you know about the actual topics if you're wondering for my Manifest Magic course in January online, 1st to the 5th of January. I just said January 3 times. I'm really excited about this course. It is really different for me. I've never, like I said, kind of talked about some of these tactics and topics within manifestation, but I really think that these tactics and topics are going to take us to that next level. And I think doing it all together and taking advantage of manifesting with a group of like-minded people into that new year, it's just going to be really, really powerful. So just so you have an idea, the topics over the 5 days, and I also wanted to make it just 5 days so it's really manageable for you. It's 5 days at the start of the year to kickstart you into your most powerful self. So the topics are: day 1, connection. You get a manifestation Q&A live call with me, a professionally recorded meditation for you to keep that has never been released before, and a journaling exercise. Day 2 is expectation and perception, self-reflection and journaling exercise. Day 3 is about creation and feeling. It is an interactive exercise. Day 4 is let go and allow. Self-reflection exercise, live call check-in with me, and a live meditation. And then day 5 is step into your power and gratitude. Journaling and reading exercise and takeaway mantras. I am so excited. I hope you join me. I hope you liked this episode. Have the most incredible festive season. I hope you really slow down and just become present, because that's where magic happens. That's when we get the creative ideas. I'll never forget the Christmas holidays between the year of 2014 to 2015. It's when I created Pass Around the Smile, and I just remember being on holidays and eating all the good food, being on my laptop, creating passaroundthesmile.com, and just having this like feeling that it was going to be huge, but I had no idea how or what. And that was a really inspiring time for me, and a great lesson that we don't always have to see the stairs. What's that quote? Like, you don't have to see the stairs, the whole staircase. Anyway, you know what I mean. Keep an ear out and an eye out for my yearly horoscope mantras. I get them from this incredible horoscope page, which is really, they're very well known and very well respected. I take what they write for their horoscopes and I create specific mantras for our horoscopes, and it's really magical, and you all really loved it last year. So I'm going to do that again on my Instagram, but I'm also going to do it as a podcast. Not only am I going to share my horoscope mantras, but I'm also going to share a card that I pull for each horoscope. So you'll get a horoscope mantra for 2024, and you will get a card for 2024 drawn by me for your birthday month. Well, not your birthday month, your star sign, right? Because the months change. Oh God. Anyway, that's a sign that I'm done. I love you guys so much. You're amazing.